Welcome back, everybody. We are jumping back into our CYSA study outline. We'll start taking some notes. Our book right here. Our book. Notes, book notes. We're going to study. Right now, we are working our way through the outline. And we're finding out the type of stuff we're going to be learning about. So, looks like we need to make a few slides for chapter 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just do about 4. Okay. So let's do section 5, which is called implementing vulnerability. I'm going to shorten a bunch of this, otherwise we're going to know the vulnerability MGMT processes, page 1. Isn't that crazy? That's alright, we'll deal with it. And we're going to copy that. Make that page 2. There are other ways to do this. Page 3. Oh shit. But we're gonna do it this way. Page 4. We might not need 4 pages. Let's see what we got. Implementing vulnerability management processes. What does that mean? Well, we have vulnerability management requirements. Well, what are those? We didn't learn about that. We didn't really. I don't know if we touched is vulnerability management requirements a topic in Security Plus, but we learned about regulatory environments. We learned about that. Okay, we learned about corporate security policies. So most of this shouldn't be brand new stuff to us. We know about data classification. And we also know about asset inventory. By the way, there was like a messed up question on that. I didn't even get why they asked the question the way that they did. I think it was in a practice test. It doesn't matter. We can squeeze this one in here. We're going to talk about common vulnerabilities. What are those? Well, we have servers. Servers are targets. Endpoints are anything. A cell phone, a client, a server. Every one of them has an endpoint. Servers, endpoint, network infrastructure. Network infrastructure. We have virtual infrastructure. We have mobile devices. We also have interconnected networks. Okay. We have virtual private networks. We've heard of almost all of these. both in Network Plus and in Security Plus. We also have Industrial Control Systems, and then we also have SCADA devices. And I used to think that ICS and SCADA were the same thing, but then I've learned that SCADA is like much bigger scale kind of stuff. If my information is correct, we're going to talk about frequency of vulnerability scans. Like, how often do you want to do them? Risk, appetite. Consider like vulnerability scans cost money. I don't know. We'll talk about risk, appetite. Sometimes they're mandatory. They're required. We'll talk about it. Technical constraints. We're going to talk about workflow. And then we have tool configuration. Tool configuration. The troll goes under the bridge and waits for the billy goat. There's the toil configuration. Tool. There, not toll. Okay. Toil. Tool configuration. Where am I? Scanning criteria. It's kind of important. Tool updates and plugins. Okay. Tool updates and plugins. Come on. Oh. SCAP, that's a cool one. Security Control Access Protocol, something like that. That one's mentioned in like one sentence in the book, but you're expected to know what it is. I think I actually had a question on it. It was something simple. It was like, what is this thing called? And it was like, and I knew it was SCAP. Permissions and access. Okay. And then on our next page, we are going to do the review. And the review is going to have questions, and it's going to have answers. Believe it or not. Page 3. Okay. Well, that means we don't need page 4, do we? So we can change page 4 into section 6. And section 6 is called vulnerability scanning. We're going to make that a page 1, and then we'll come down here and we will duplicate this page, and we'll make us a page 2. We may not need more than that, but okay, we'll be back on page 1. Let's go to page 1. Okay, vulnerability scanning. What's it all about? Execute scanning. Like, as in how to execute scanning, right? We can execute scanning with Nessus. We can use OpenVAS. What on earth is that? It sounds creepy. We can use Nikto. We'll learn about those things coming up. We generate reports. And why do we want to do that? What's automated versus manual distribution? Okay. Then we have remediation. What do we need to know about remediation? We need to prioritize things. That makes sense. We need communication and change control. Okay, what else do we need? We need inhibitors. We need to discover any inhibitors to remediation, anything that could stop us from fixing things. Does that make sense? Okay. Ongoing scanning and continuous monitoring. Damn it. Okay. Analyze reports from a vulnerability scanner. Okay. We are also going to, and underneath that, we're going to review and interpret scan results. Okay. Then we're going to validate results. To correlate other data points. And we're going to compare to Beck. So we're going to compare it to the best practices where the compliance. We're going to reconcile results. We're going to review related logs and or other data points. And then we're going to determine trends. Okay. And we're just going to clone this page real quick. And we'll just be on page 3. And then our last we have a review. We have questions. We have answers. Okay. So now our next section, our next part, is going to cover sections 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let's just do a control and add a section here. And we're going to start with section 7, which is called the incident. Perfect. Okay. So let's just clone this. Let's just duplicate it a couple of times, and you know, if we don't need it, we won't bother with it. Okay. So a cast of characters. What does that mean? We have key roles. We have stakeholders. I misspelled that. We have key roles, we have stakeholders. We have, back that out, response techniques. And within response techniques, we have containment. We have eradication. We have validation. And we have corrective actions. Okay. Moving on to our page 2. We have communication processes. And underneath that we have internal, we have external communication. Okay, and then we have a review, and we have questions, and we have answers. So this over here, we're going to call this section 8. And that's determining the impact of incidents. Awesome. Let's do a duplicate just in case. I think we're going to need 2 of these. So we're going to start with threat classifications. Okay, and within that we need known threats versus unknown threats. We need a 0-day. Advanced persistent threats. Like, those are APTs. APT, 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 APT. Okay. APT. Factors contributing to incident. Severity and scope. Impact. Types of data. And we got a review. And we're going to have questions. portions. And we're going to have answers. Okay. And so that means, let's see here. Oh, damn it. Let's drag this over here. Did that just happen? There's 7. There's 8. There's 9. Nine is preparing the incident response toolkit. I'm going to shorten this up. It's going to look stupid, but it's going to fit better. So whatever. Excuse me. Okay, here we go. Preparing the incident response toolkit. We're going to start with digital forensics. Okay, and phases of an investigation. We are going to talk about forensic investigation suite. Okay, this is newer stuff. Acquisition utilities. Analysis utilities. OS and process analysis. Mobile device forensics. Log viewers. Let's go to our next page. We have page 2. And on page 2, we're going to say, building your forensic kit. Okay. Oh, you'll need a jump bag. God forbid, you must have a jump bag, whatever that is. We're going to do a review. In the review, we're going to have questions. And we'll also have answers. So, now, let us duplicate this slide. We're going to call this section 10. Oops, 10. Shorten this somehow. This is goofy. You know what? We'll do that. Where's my cursor? We're gonna shorten this. Best cursive act. I don't know. I gotta make it look somewhat reasonable. There. Section 10. Introduction to Diagnosis. We're going to talk about network-related symptoms. In network-related systems, we have bandwidth, utilization, we have beaconing, whatever that is. Didn't even think it's a real word. Irregular, peer-to-peer communication, rogue devices, network. We got scan sweeps. What else do we got? We're gonna make a new page. That's sections. Okay, so that's page 1. Now we're gonna clone this. Duplicate it rather. Page 2. Okay. What was on our previous page? Network-related symptoms. Okay. Now we have host-related symptoms. Right there. And for host-related symptoms, we have running processes. We have memory contents. We have file system. We have capacity consumption. We have unauthorized privileges. We have application-related symptoms. What are those? We have, well, anomalous activity, introduction of new accounts, we have unexpected output, experience some unexpected outbound communication. Service interruptions. Singular. Or memory overflows. Okay. And then on our page 3, we'll do review. We'll have questions. We'll have answers. Okay. So that's section 10. We're moving on to part 4. What's part 4 all about? Well, part 4 is security architectures. So we got 5 sections. This is 5 sections under here. So we're almost done. Well, for today, for the outline. So let's add a new one. And we're going to do section 11. Frameworks. Policies. Okay. There we go. Shorten everything, because whatever. Because it's like whatever. We have security frameworks. Let's see here. Let's just make 3 copies of this. Excuse me. Duplicate. Duplicate. We can go back up here. Page 1. We're going to start page 1. Security frameworks. And under security frameworks we have NIST. No. NIST. ISO. We have COBIT. I don't think I ever heard of them before. SABSA. Does not sound familiar. We have TOGAF. Sounds like some fucking wizard, some shit. ITIL. Okay. Like, please, TOGAF, please don't beat my ass. Policies and procedures. Policies and procedures. We have security policies. We have procedures. There we go. I got page 2. Page 2. Controls. What kind of controls are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about physical controls. Talk about those in Security Plus. Logical controls. Logical controls, we have administrative. Administrative controls. We have, what else do we have? Control selection. Okay, we're going to learn how to select controls. Regulatory compliance. Compliance. That's in Britain. Verification. Contortals. Verification and quality control. And here we're going to have audits. We're going to have assessments. We're going to have certification. We're going to have maturity models. Okay. And on our page 3. Okay. We're going to have a review. In the review, we're going to have some questions. And we'll have some answers. Okay, now let's move on. We're going to talk about, we're going to prep for section 12. Oh shit, we're almost there though. Identity and access management. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. Okay. Fine. Okay. So let's do 3 pages for this. I'll do one more. It'll get used one way or another. So 12. Security issues associated with context-based security. Context-based. Damn, what a pain in the ass. Context-based authentication. What on earth is that? We'll find out. Time, location, impossible time, impossible location, frequency, and behavioral. Okay, so those could be problems. Security issues associated with identities. Okay. Like, don't you know who I am? I'm on the board of directors. Servers. Services. Roles. Applications. Okay. Next page. Let's see, that's page 1, this is page 2. Making sure I'm keeping everything up to date. Okay. Security issues associated with identity repositories. What on earth is that? Repositories. Repositoire. repositories. Repositories. Oh, where are the? Okay, so with directory services, we have TACAX Plus. Then we have Radius. We've heard of TACAX Plus and Radius all the way back to Network Plus. So we've covered TACAX Plus and Radius. Do I know what they mean? Hell no, man. Nah, I know a little bit about them, but not really enough to be dangerous. But we got to learn about them again. Security issues associated with federation and single sign-on. Oh, they all fit in one thing. Okay. Manual versus automatic. Provisioning. Deprovisioning. I know that's a word. You know that's a word. Okay. Then we got self-service. We'll talk about self-service password reset. Okay. And then before going over here, let's go to the next page. Oopsie, there we go. And we're going to talk about some exploits. We're going to learn the definition of an exploit. Impersonation is an exploit. Man in the middle. I don't think we're supposed to capitalize these two. Man in the middle. Session hijack. We got session hijack. Cross-site scripting. All of these were covered in Security Plus, Privilege Escalation Rootkits. We got a review. We got questions. And we got answers. Okay, awesome. We're going to move into section 13. Which happens to be entitled Putting in well, once again we have far too many letters, so we just have to shorten it. Comp controls. Okay. Let's just do 2 pages for this. Duplicate this one. Let's do it twice. We'll use the other one if we use it. Oh, speaking of which, did we change that? No, that's going to be page 2. There's page 1. Section 12, page 2. Section 12, page 3. Now we should be on section 13, page 1. Okay. Excuse me, guys. We have, I have, rather, three more sections that I need to set up real quick. But I want to take a quick break. I really want to grind through this the rest of this, but I need about a 5-minute break. So I'm gonna pause this, and we're gonna come back in a little bit, and then we're gonna finish our outline. Finish our outline for everything we're getting ready to study in the CYSA. So I appreciate everybody, and also I noticed a few of you, and I've seen you guys in here a couple of times. So I just want to give a shout out and say thank you to you guys. Crooks85, I see you out there. I've seen you a number of times. Thanks for stopping in. I think it's very cool of you guys, people who are interested in network security, stuff like that. I think it's awesome. So I'm going to come back in just a few minutes, and we'll finish out this outline, and then we'll see what's next. All right, see you in a few.